Hello and welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program with me, the Green Dragon. So here we are back in the Kerbal system and from what I'm seeing we have Jool over here and Kerbin over here, so it should be a month or two before we hit an alignment with Jool. And what we're gonna do is launch a mission to Jool, and for that we'll need to construct, I'm thinking, two orbital ships. One of them we'll send to Vall and the other we'll send to the, I think it is, there we go, let's take a look at this, to Bob and Paul. So today we are gonna launch the central piece for our first ship. I'm not gonna show you every flight. We're gonna follow the construction of the Bob and Paul ship, and I'm just gonna show you the final the final construction mission of the other ship when we dock the lander to it, because everything else will be exactly the same. Well, more or less. We'll run these missions simultaneously, I believe, and yeah, this is gonna be my next series, and it should be good for some, I don't know, 10 videos, I suppose. So I suppose there's nothing more to do except launch this thing, so here we go. Yeah, I still hear the crackling, but since nobody has complained and I'm not hearing anything like that in other people's videos, I'm assuming that it is a problem purely with my hardware or with Kerbal. Well, I don't think it makes it onto recording as this annoying crackling anyway. As such, I'm gonna leave the sound on, and if I'm wrong about that, feel free to mention it. And if you prefer to do this with the sound off, that's fine, I can do it either way. But if you have any preferences as to this, please let me know, because I honestly can't, I can't do anything about it if you don't tell me that you would like things to be different. But in any case, there go the 6 solid boosters, and we are on our mainsail stages. This is the central part of the ship. As you can see, we have side docking ports here, and there will be detachable fuel tanks added to those. Okay, it rotates like that because of the winglets on the side, but it seems stable and safe enough. And since this is an unmanned flight, we needn't worry about Kerbal deaths. The thrust-to-weight ratio is less than ideal right now, so we're gonna keep flying at 60 degrees instead of turning towards 45 like I normally would at this point in the flight. Once we make it up to 450 meters per second, we shall say, we are gonna turn a bit further, but for now, well, actually, screw it. 350 sounds about right. There we go. Now, I could try to do a single mission to, all of those locations, but I don't think that's a good idea. I've looked at the Delta V, and we should have enough to make it to both Bob and Paul at the same time, but I don't think we can do 3 and have enough to safely return to Kerbin, so I'm not gonna risk it. That was interesting, the engine sputtering like that, but it seems okay. Let's cycle through these, and let's see. The numbers seem alright anyway. Now, I could have used the Goliath, but the Goliath is meant to be a reusable ship, and while it can do a mission to Jool and return and orbit Kerbin safely, In all honesty, if I do a mission to 3 planets, I won't be able to safely orbit it. Around Kerbin, I think. At least it would be pushing it far, far too close. As such, I want a ship that I can get rid of. This last piece, the central stage, will be detached once we return to Kerbin, and it will be, you know, dumped. And it's just a capsule that will make it back down to Kerbin under parachutes. This thing is gonna go bye-bye. Anyway, that's the plan. We will attach extra fuel tanks. As they are spent, we will detach them. This central part will make it... Well, yeah, we're gonna go to Bob and Paul. I don't know in what order. I think I might go for Paul first. It depends on how my inclinations align. Frankly, I don't think it makes much of a difference fuel-wise, so we're gonna go for it. Also, this thing has RCS. As for the ships that will attach the extra fuel tanks, they should have enough oomph on them to... Okay, now that is worrisome. We might not be able to turn quickly enough. Oh my god, what the fuck, game? What the fuck? Shit. Okay, excuse me. I believe I will have fucked up my inclination, and I did. Excellent. Just fracking excellent. Now, it's something we could adjust for with subsequent flights, but... Okay. It does not turn very well, unfortunately. It's meant to be turnable once the main command capsule is, you know, attached, but... actually... Oh, but that's right, I still have the mainsails attached. No wonder it spun out like that. Shit, I thought for a second I was just on my nuclear engines. Makes perfect sense, actually. No wonder it spun out like that. Whoops! Yeah, with all this extra weight, it's no wonder really that it spun out like that. And these will be far too close to the center of mass, as while those are still attached, they're not meant to be set up like that. Okay, let's just focus on that. Okay, let's... think we will be able to manage this. Okay, now let's just get close enough to kill that, you know, node. There we go, there go the nukes. Say goodbye. Yes, explode away. Goodbye, excellent. Okay. Okay, and once we hit the sunny side, I'll explain to you how this is supposed to work. So that you know, you can look at the pieces. And this, in my opinion, makes for a pretty versatile and effective transfer craft. You can go all the way out to Ilo or Jool. That is above the... Indeed it is. Excellent. I'm gonna wait till we hit the sunny side, and then we're gonna do some more adjusting. I believe I want it in relatively high orbit, say. Well, actually, no. In fact, I want it in a really low orbit, now that I think about it. Okay, we are on the sunny side anyway. Okay, so we have the front where we attach our lander, and these side ports we will attach the normal length Rocomax fuel tanks, the 2.5 or 3 meter ones, or however you measure it. We have 4 nuclear engines for actual burning, and yeah, and we have another docking port for refueling ships there. So, all in all, it makes for very versatile craft. You can launch just a central piece and transfer to something like Duna, or you can transfer much further like Ilu, or what was it called? God damn it, I forgot. Moho, right, Moho. Anyway, so it makes for very versatile ship. Let's deploy our antenna, because we want our communications online, obviously. Ah, and we have more here. There we go. We have a nuclear reactor for, you know, electricity thingies, which is of course, as always, fun. And it actually kind of turns even without the RCS on, which is excellent. Of course, it will have far tougher time turning once it is fully loaded down with fuel tanks. And since I'm not using mods beyond the map set and the Kerbal Engineer, which only give you information, they don't actually help you with gameplay, it will be somewhat interesting to actually fly it. So, because you know, I don't have any quantum struts or any such things, and you know. Anyway, let's park ourselves in a 90 by 90 orbit, and yeah, that should be it. So, 2 crews, Vall, Bob, and Paul. We have already been to Lythe and Tylo, so those two, while certainly enjoyable locations, well, for Tylo you need a far more massive craft, and for Lythe, once again, well, not as massive as Tylo, since you can use parachutes for actually orbiting, it is still a thing. Okay, that should be alright. How are we on our actual numbers? Close enough for government work, I believe. Now we need to align these so that those are aligned with the... Actually, no, that's not a good idea. We're gonna align these with north and south, and we're gonna do it like that. The ships that will bring up the external fuel tanks should have enough fuel to have plenty left over for actually supplying this ship as well. You know, so that everything should be fueled up properly. I will bring up the crew first to oversee the matters. I mean, the crew will be here for the docking of the external fuel tanks. I will dock probes and external fuel tanks first. After that, we will show the transfer to... Well, come think of it, I'll show the construction of just one ship, and the second ship, well, the second ship I'll show you when we set out, I suppose. And I won't do both transfer burns, I'll just, you know, actually, how do I want to do this? Not that it's important right now, but well, I'll transfer both ships over. Then we'll get back once we're in Jool systems, set them both up in a halfway decent orbit. You know, I'll show you the construction of one ship, and you'll see the second ship once we actually enter Jool sphere of influence with both ships, and we set them in orbit. After that, we will go for individual missions. Go to one of the tiny moons first, then to Vall, then to then the other one of the tiny moons, and then we'll head back. On this ship, which will go to Bob and Paul, which will incidentally rename. That should be appropriate. We will also dock 2 mapping probes, which we'll use to help map the planet, I believe. Whereas on the other one we'll only dock 1 of those. And we'll see how that goes. The idea will be to decouple the nodes, to decouple the probes and set them in a polar orbit around the planetary body beforehand in order to find any anomalies, which we will then, where we will then try to land so that we can get a nice close look at them. This will be an anomaly studying mission on Vall, Bob and Paul. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we'll have enough fuel to get there and get back. If not, we'll have to launch, quite possibly, a rescue mission. And if that happens, well, we'll see how it goes. But we will not leave any Kerbals behind on this. I believe I have sufficient skills and sufficient technological capacity developed in this game in various designs, or nearly so, to rescue any stranded Kerbonauts. So, anyway, that's the plan. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video when we launch either the probes or the actual command capsule thingy. I believe I should launch the command capsule thingy after the probes, if only because it will be difficult to dock them together otherwise. Although, no, actually no, we'll roleplay this. I should launch the command capsule first, so I'll see you in the next video when we launch the actual crew. So, see you at a later date. Goodbye for now.